Can you hear me?
I gotcha. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. Hold on. Oh, I probably didn't turn my damn headphones on. That's so cute.
How about now?
Yes. I started with equipment and then I was like, this shit sucks. So then I stopped. And then I was guesting on others. They're like, we'd really like you to have equipment. And do you want me to admit your meat geek note taker?
Oh, no, I wish I could figure out how to get rid of her.
It happens a lot. Some people like it. So I'm like, okay, if that's what you want. Anyway, I suck at equipment, so it's all good. I was reading through your profile again. I'm really excited because I feel like I was like, oh, that's right. I remember this. Well, I really believe that the people who come on my show were meant for me. You know, like we were meant to meet, and everyone that I have on here is very similar to me, even when stories look different or whatever. So I'm really excited because, you know, I'm not really excited that you've gone through so much bullshit in your life, but I am excited to share this connection with you because that's my whole thing is like, we've gone through the dark, we found our light, we now want to be a light for others. And you've gone through some really heavy shit.
I have, and I love that you say that we want to share the shit to be a light for others, you know, and I know that's not exactly how you said it, but I love that you say that because that is what it is. I cherish my journey now. I cherish what I went through, whereas I used to hate it for a long time, and now I understand that it's a beacon of light and hope for so many people. So thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, I wonder if this has been your thought too. That's become kind of dual for me. Why are we getting an echo? Because I got to a place where I was like, oh yeah, I can fully appreciate now everything I've gone through because I couldn't get to this amount of light without an equal amount of darkness. But I think understanding that concept is kind of what helped me so much with self-love too, and acceptance of who I am, because if I'm going to love the brightest parts of me, I have to love and appreciate and understand the darkest parts of me and let them alchemize the way they will, you know?
Yes, yes. That is true. I always say every evil has a blessing. And I've just come to understand that the dark times, the really, really difficult times are always an experience that we need to experience. And something's going to come from it. It's getting through it. It's choosing to get through it and getting to the light on the other side of it and receiving what's meant to come to you through that experience. I agree.
Which I mean, I will say
that's me. I'm very sorry.
Oh, I thought it was my headphones. I was like, oh good, I didn't charge. Well, they're probably also low. So are you good? You got a charger near, or do you need a minute?
No, it's just my email. And I would like all these things that I don't think will show up all of a sudden make these sounds. And I'm like, what is, you know what I
that's
mean?
fine.
Like,
I got a notice that my headphones were low, so I'm just gonna take them off. We'll just do it with it.
I am the same as you are with technology. I'm like all these little things, if they could just like, if I could talk to it and say, okay, this is what I need you to do, and it would say, okay, like Siri, right? If everything could be Siri for me.
No, that's so valid. Yeah, and I hate that. Like, this computer I only started using for recording not that long ago because I was having an issue with the other one for a minute, because of course I was. But it will come up really loud, like a notification in the corner, and then it'll come up, and I'm like talking, and I'm like, let me get some feelings that really quick. Like, it's happened on other people's shows to where I'm like, I'm kind of glad it happened to you because I don't give a shit, but it makes me.
Okay, good.
Like, it doesn't, it's not just me.
No, I'm already feeling like we're a little bit very much soul sistery here. Like we've got, I just love your like, don't give a shit. This is what I'm gonna say. This is my show, and if you don't like it, that's too bad. You can choose to leave. Like,
Yeah,
I love
I kind of am because I mean there are some times that people will say things that I wildly disagree with, and I won't like wildly disagree with them like to their face, you know. But it's rare, but I'll be like, well, we'll just cut that shit out because I'm not, you know, there's certain rhetoric that I'm like, nope, but we'll just let you say what you need to say, and I will not air that part. I don't edit very much at all because I really do want the authentic connection to come through. But you know, if you say something I don't like, it's cut. But okay, well now that we're, you know, through our first set of tech issues, don't worry, Terry. It's we've got more, okay? When they're it's me. Okay, I got a lot of mercury in my ass, so you know that's how it goes. But okay, so I can remember in the darkness not understanding what you and I are talking about right now. So I try to be really careful about it because I know it was a trigger to me, like victim consciousness or just even the gratitude that we're talking about. I mean, when people would say two things, this would piss me off really bad. Everything happens for a reason. I want to murder you when you say that. And also, there's always something to be grateful for. Okay. Obviously, I believe that. I do.
Yeah.
But I also am real big on meeting people where they are. And if you're, you know, not finding shit to be grateful for, hey, you know, I kind of feel you. But I think when I got to a place, I remember very distinctly, I was having tech issues like this just over and over and over, just bullshit, right? And I was like, okay, I get it. You are saying until I stop reacting like this, you're gonna keep giving it to me. Okay. Okay, I got it. I'm going to stop being a psycho every time something goes wrong. I literally used to be so fucking high strung. I mean, if I'm on someone else's show and some shit starts going wrong with my tech, I'll get all hot and sweaty and be like, but like overall, like it's, with my show, it's like, you know, whatever happens, happens because I'll just, you know, do what I can to fix it and it's not a big deal. Like I had some real shit audio on what I posted yesterday, and I hate that for the listeners because it was only my. No, I'm gonna tell you the truth. It's because she was in India and on real shit ass internet. And I was trying to be sweet about it, but it was pissing me off because it was in my ear when I talked. And I was like, damn, I wasn't mad at her, but I was just like, I know I switched devices 3 times. So, and I wasn't using any headphones or anything by the end of me trying to figure out what was going on. So I know it wasn't on my end, but it was such a powerful conversation that I was like, I just did what I could to salvage it so that I could post it because I did say like I'm willing to record with you again, but honestly I don't have time for that. So I was like, I can't do that, you know. Anyway, so I will get pretty hot and sweaty for other people's shit, but my shit's like, whatever. Because I used to, every little thing, I lived in that survival place and every little thing was a trigger. And I literally had to just get to a place where I said, okay, I'm the problem. I just get it because I need you to stop sending me lessons. I learned it. I learned it. You're telling me I got to get better at not sweating the small shit. Okay, got it. But I mean, honestly, all the aha moments that we've experienced over journeys, like they're invaluable because nobody else can give you those. It is just this, you hear someone say something, or actually my extreme gratitude for this show comes from all of the moments that I've had in real time talking to somewhere else where I'm like, oh, you know, I think I'm just processing this for the first time, but blah, 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 because I lived a very silent life before. It didn't look that way because I've always been loud, you know, but like I wasn't talking about anything I truly wanted to talk about. Very few people are safe to get really in the nitty gritty with. Even now, that's what I find is that the people I get to have these conversations with are the people I'm talking to in my real life. Even like I'm just not talking to very many people because I made a commitment that I will no longer connect through talking shit or complaining. So, you know, as women, that's what we do. If we're unhealed, we'll just sit around bullying in essence, even though I wasn't going to go be a full-on bully because I knew what that felt like. I mean, we'd sit in my office talking shit about whoever all the fucking day, you know? So I really like, I'm committed to not being that person anymore. So it's hard to find people not talking shit or complaining. And also, like, if you feel so out of control of your entire life, the complaining just comes naturally, you know?
It does. And I truly, truly believe that, and this is a hard thing for me to kind of at first swallow around, is that we bring the crud into our life by the things that we continue to put out, and the things that we think, and the things that we say, and the things that we believe to be true for us, or quite frankly, we choose to be true for us. Like, that gives my entire body just goosebumps.
Yes.
Because it's so fucking true that we choose the life that we have. And that's a hard pill to swallow when we wake up and we're like, shit, this life sucks. But if I look back to my life, I chose it. I created it. Right?
Yeah. I'm with you. I mean, I want to, anyone who's hearing this and hasn't reached this level of consciousness, we don't blame you. It's okay. We're bringing you along on the journey, but I got you.
Yeah. But the other spectrum of it that's so beautiful is that just like you can choose the life you don't want, you can choose the life you do want. You can bring that. And that's what I've done. That's what you've done. That's what millions of women have done and are working to do. And it's available to everybody. That's what excites me. And that's the message I want to get out, because I was that woman that, and whoever you speak to, God, the universe, the higher power, whoever it is for you, for me, it's all three, right? I thought God made two people, the very slender, skinny, beautiful, smart, successful, rich women or people. And then there was me. I wasn't in that category. Yeah, right. I'm like, so why is that? Why does God do that? Why does he make this very, very, like, I wish I was her, and then me? And I realized that that's not true. That's just the belief that I held. And so then I continued to keep myself at that level of belief and creating more and more of what I didn't want. And then when I decided to put the script, right, to say, no, this isn't going to be true for me. It doesn't have to be true for me. That's when everything started to shift for me.
Yeah. I've started to say in the last 6 months, everything works out for me. And I fucking love when the shit works out for me. And I'm like, look, everything works out for me. Of course, it's confirmation of what I'm wanting to happen, but that is the way I'm viewing the world. And I get to choose what working out for me means. And I was talking to someone on here not that long ago about kind of the one biggest privilege of people born into a family who has wealth, which is they get born into the idea that wealth is possible, money is safe. You know what I'm saying? Like, different visions of what life can look like, and why I see that as the biggest privilege now in terms of financial success. You know, money's not everything, but you know, is because our perception is our reality. So if you know, when you're born into poverty or raised around some, like my grandma was so insecure around money because she was raised poor. She had less than when I was being raised. And we were fucking middle class. Okay. We weren't like dirt poor like she was when she was raising kids, but she still viewed herself that way. And you know, maybe we weren't. She was good at hiding it. But either way, she felt her worth and value were tied to that number. And she programmed us to feel poor and to feel less than. Like, well, they just probably think they're better than you because they have money, or, you know, things like that. And so if you come into the world with the scarcity mindset versus this abundance mindset, kind of sets the foundation for what you view as scarce and abundant in everything. And when you're choosing a life that you're in love with, you get to create that life and what you're in love with. So yeah, it doesn't look the way I thought it would when I started this podcast almost a year ago and was like, I'm leaving everything, fuck this, blah, 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 but I'm going to go be an entrepreneur. It doesn't look that way. I mean, you know, my car payment's still a little late, but like, it's worth it. And I'm absolutely in love with my life. So that was a mindset shift. And what you love out of your life is all starting here in your brain. So yeah, you get a lot more control than you think, because literally this entire existence is created by you.
Yes. Yes, you nailed every single bit of that. And I love that. And that's what we all need to remember. And it's easy to forget it. It's
Oh
easy
shit,
to
yeah, it is.
the limiting belief surface, the lack of belief in ourselves, the doubt, the all of the fears. I mean, our ego is our number one our number one enemy at times, and it's not trying to be. It's there. It's number
Trying to
one
keep
job.
us safe, yeah.
Yeah. But of course, it doesn't realize that keeping us safe is also limiting us. It's also causing us to miss a lot of opportunities in life, but it's based on what you've experienced in the past. And so when you set out to do something or to believe something or to have something, it's like, oh, but do you remember, Tara, the last time you tried that? Do you remember what happened? That shit was not good. You don't want to go back there.
It truly does kind of happen like that. When you get super attuned to what your narratives are, you can hear it and you're like, no, bitch.
Exactly. There is the angel and the devil on the shoulders having a full-on conversation in one ear, in the other, and it never goes out. It's just circling right there. Yeah. So when that old programming, that belief system starts to trigger, that takes you out. It puts you into left field in a very, very fast circle of time.
Yeah.
I can't just thinking about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you first got to like where you felt, I'm going to use the word healed. I mean, we know that healing is forever, but, and also
Yeah.
not the goal anymore. But, when you first like came out of your darkness and you were feeling better and stuff, did you feel a little shaky the first time those patterns kind of tried to sneak back in of the thinking and doubt, fear, shame, all that? Because I know I definitely had to talk myself through, like, that was actually a big ha moment. And I think it even happened on the show where it was like, oh, okay. Again, I thought there was going to be this specific destination on a map that said you've arrived, and now you're never going to have another fucking problem in your whole life because you're the co-creator of your reality and blah, 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 blah. Okay. Give me some PMS. Give me some PMS. And I hate my husband and overthink everything. Everything. And I'm like, those 5 days prior to starting my period is a nonstop battle of wills between my soul and my fucking brain, where I'm like, we don't do this. We don't do this. And now I'm like, resistance is the thing that keeps us stuck. Fine, let's daydream about how much we hate our husband. Fine, what is it? What am I supposed to learn from this? Fine. But I used to be very scared of it. Were you like that?
I was, but I was, I don't even know if I was scared. I was deflated because I was like you too, right? Like, okay, I've decided that this isn't going to be my reality. So that means it's done. It's just done. It's the periods at the end of the sentence and it's over. And then all of a sudden when it comes back up, it's like, what the hell? Like I said that this was over and I felt deflated. And I think that the deflation came from because I was like, oh, that's right. That's right. Good things don't come to me. Good things don't happen to me. I'm not meant the person that I want to be. I don't get good things coming my way. Like the deflation came back from me just buying into that same old story that I lived behind. So it was the talking, right? Like the talking yourself through it, reminding yourself, choosing different. Like one thing that I always use is like when you hit rock bottom, because you can hit bottom in a millisecond of time. You can be flying high and things are going and bam, you are at the bottom and you're like, where in the hell and how and why and what the fuck now?
Yeah.
It's you can choose to keep digging. And when I would go down, I was the digger. I was a digger of like, right? How could I get back here? Why am I here? Why is it this? And I would just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yes.
And then one day I was coaching one of my other women through it. And honestly, Melissa, I was like losing my shit coaching this woman because I'm like, I'm going through this myself. I'm going through this. Why the hell? Right? Why do you have to have this problem on this day? Because I am bawling my eyes out. I'm in the whole sleeve of Oreos and I'm angry and I am like losing it. And now you got to have a problem too. Of course you do. Right.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I just said, you can choose to keep digging or you can start fucking climbing. That's exactly what I said.
Right.
And after I said it, I was like, whoa, Tara, you needed that message just as much as she did. And she's triggered. Like, this is where I started to understand that things come in on purpose.
Yeah.
Is, whoa, she had to go through this trigger and she had to be struggling, because if she wouldn't have been, I would have kept digging and I would have never connected the dots that I could choose to climb myself as well. So she needed to make me go over the edge to connect with the very, very large lesson that I needed to get in that moment. And I think that that's so important for us women to connect with, is that we, by nature, are always showing up for everybody else in our life. And we lose sight of connecting with ourselves when we're helping others. You know what I'm saying? It's like we don't tap in. We don't tap into what we're feeling and what we're going through and what's coming up for us. We're just horse blinders on, thinking, how do I help this person? What do I do? How do I get them happy? And at the end of the day, we just go to bed and we forget to check in with ourselves.
Right. And I think the way I would summarize that is, for me, I've learned living a very purposeful, intentional life is the key, because I can't live on autopilot. My autopilot is fucking destructive. It will
Right.
always be destructive to a certain extent because I have an extensive history of trauma. So that is my autopilot is a catastrophizer. It is always, you'll fucking die. Tara, this morning I woke up. I didn't get great sleep last night, so that I knew, I was like, stop. I woke up and for the first 15 minutes of being awake today, I was in intense fear about the fact that I'm getting older and my kids are going to have to watch me die. Where the fuck did that come from? Who fucking knows? And I was like, you know what we're not going to do? Analyze the shit out of that this morning. We're going to go, we're on our period. And we just got off a fucking eclipse energy. So we're going to get out of fucking bed and go do something different, bitch. Because we're not doing this. And I mean, literally, that's what my brain does, is like, I'm going to present you with something that's going to really upset you. And you're going to think you need to sit and focus on it because you're avoiding something in your heart. And that is what my brain does every time. And it's kind of a clue to me, like, am I feeling something that I'm not acknowledging? Because I don't want to live in my brain ever, ever, ever again. It's not a safe place for me unless I am trying to solve a problem. My heart isn't a problem to solve. So I have to like get out of my head into my heart and move through that. But to do that means to be very present with myself, within myself, as many moments of the day as I possibly can, and to catch the moment where I'm starting to react instead of thoughtfully respond, because my reactivity was really strong before. I mean, imagine this personality triggered as fuck with zero control over it. Okay. It was a lot. It was a lot for my family. I mean, outside of my family was very freezer fawn. And then the people in my life would get to hear all about it until I had, aggressively worked my way through it. But like, to their face, I'm like, and then maybe I'd write a strongly worded email or text later, because I still have to maintain perfectionism. So like, I got to make sure that my communication doesn't make me look bad whenever I'm telling you. Right. So I'm not going to say it to your face. That's the gift that this podcast has given me, is like, I'm not afraid to speak anymore. I don't care about being perfect with my words. I don't care about how I'm perceived. I don't care about any of that. But it's been a journey. I mean, the beginning of the first episode, I was going to try to not cuss. That lasted 10 seconds. And then I was like, why would you do that? Like, in real life, I cuss so fucking much. So why would I even try, And then, I didn't talk about astrology at all for probably 20 episodes or more. I didn't talk about deconstructing from religion because I'm in a very religious state, and I knew people from my personal life were listening, and I don't talk about that shit, you know?
Sure. Right,
So
right.
like I was really scared and didn't even realize, like, because I thought I was pretty authentic. I thought I was, but like even with my close people, there was so much I wasn't sharing. And it is still very scary to give from that place where the best gift I can give to myself and to others is to be honest and to say, like, I'm not putting responsibility on you for the fact that this is coming up, but like it is coming up. Like I'm reacting this way to something that you said, and it's not your fault, but like if I can't stop thinking about it, I have to say it because I'm tired of thinking about it. And it's the scariest thing because, you know, I'll be honest, it's been confirmed to me over and over and over that people cannot handle it when you talk about your shit.
Uh,
Whether it's their fault or not, no matter how you say it, people get defensive, and that's how it is. But
yeah.
I don't care anymore. I mean, I'm working through it, but I don't want to lie to anyone and say it's not a struggle. It's a struggle every time.
Yeah.
It's a struggle.
Yeah.
To be even honest with myself. I mean, I just realized in a conversation a couple of weeks ago, like, oh, I am still doing that, aren't I? Where I will take on all the responsibility for the miscommunication or misinterpretation or whatever, so that I can go process it on my own and never have to share it with someone. Because I
Got it.
don't want to talk to you about my feelings. So if I can work it out myself, I mean, in some ways, I that's a gift that was given to me through all of this. But also, I do need to tell people if I feel a way, and it's hard for me still. It just like asking for help is really hard for me. I just want you to know I need the help and offer it. You know.
Right. Why do you think it is? Why do you think it's hard? Like, obviously, you're here to help others, right? You're here, you're sharing your message, you're doing what you're doing, and it's powerful. You have a powerful way of doing that. And the passion is very, very fully lit on in you. Why is it hard, do you think, to share your own emotions or ask for help of others?
I'm still overcoming the narrative that I'm a burden, and the shame related to the fact that I can't do it all by myself. Cause, you know,
Sure.
as children, that's the way we're programmed, is that like, you know, rub some dirt on it and walk it off tells you as a child, oh, it's up to me to meet my own
Yeah.
needs for the rest of my life. Great. And then I use my little childlike fucked up filter to determine what that need is and how to meet it.
Yeah.
And all of that programming has just stuck with me and stuck with me and stuck with me. And also, like a lot of the stuff that I've figured out in the last 6 months has been related to my children. And where does my responsibility to them stop? Because, you know, this promise that I made to myself and the universe or whatever years ago that I was not going to fucking do to them what was done to me and that they were going to have a good life, really set me up for failure in that perfectionist world because I needed to do it perfectly to
Sure.
be good at it. And honestly, my suicidal ideation was fully bred and fired all from thoughts of like what a shitty mom I was. And I went on a walk with a friend the other day and I was like, it makes me so sad for her because like, baby, you wasn't doing it that bad. Like there were times I was not like a great mom at all, but like
Yep.
if we're gonna compare to my parents, come on, like it's light years difference. Like, yeah, I'm getting really short with you, or you know, my youngest has gotten the worst version of me. But like even the worst I've ever been, like it's pretty normal shit. Like
Right.
and I know how to repair with them, and I'm open to hearing what I've done and what I need to be doing different and whatever. But like, ooh, all that pressure I was putting on myself just to be a superhero, to do
Yeah.
things that nobody's capable of. And again, to be perfect. So I still feel shame if I need help because I can't be perfect if I'm needing help.
Amen. Yes. Same. Same. Like we've walked very similar paths. That has been when I became a single mom of my boys, that was my mission. That was my goal. That was everything in me, was make sure that you give them everything you can give them, your best version, the best piece of life, the best everything, so that they don't go through what you went through. And that was the same for me, was my suicidal attempts and ideation and all. It was because I felt like I couldn't be the mom that those boys deserved, right? And
They're
so
better without you. Yeah.
Yes, they'll be happier without me. They'll have somebody that will provide. They'll have somebody that will do everything better, make the best cookies, never fuck up a recipe in the kitchen, won't wake up tired, won't wake up crabby. Like, like I believe that there was Mary Poppins out there and I couldn't be Mary Poppins,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
There is no Mary Poppins out there other than on the TV. And that's where we compare ourselves to impossible models out there, and we think we should be able to be that.
That's
And we set ourselves up for failure when we're expecting ourselves to be somebody that's impossible to be. However, on the other spectrum of it, I'm going to say is that we hold ourselves to high standards, and that's something to be damn proud of. Because
yeah.
at least, right? At least we want to be aware if we're putting in our best. And that's where I had to
Yeah.
get is like, even on my worst days, if I'm at least trying my best to get through and to be my best person, even when I'm struggling, then I know I'm putting in my best. I know I'm
Yeah.
trying my best. And I've had those conversations with my boys. I've had to go back and say, you know what, I'm sorry. I was crabby.
Mhm.
I handled this in the wrong way. You didn't deserve that. However, how could you do something different in what you did? And I taught them to hold accountability for themselves, because when you're an ass, you need to be able to admit you're
Yeah.
an ass, right?
Mhm. Which
So
is also something I struggle with, not internally, but the whole like, sorry, it's a confrontation in some ways, and it makes me scared a little bit, even with my kids. I mean, my boys are grown now because the middle one just turned 18 last week, but
oh,
22 and 18, and I have a daughter who's going to be 11 this summer. And they scare me a little bit, those boys too, because they have very intense feelings, and I'm like, I want to say sorry, but I don't want to have a conversation about why so like I still get stuck sometimes. But like, yeah, I think for me, that's why I'm so committed to being so loud about the struggles, because I don't want anyone to put me on a pedestal in any way and think that these aren't still things. Like, there's no destination that I'm not going to struggle with these sometimes. PMS is fucking awful for me. I have PMDD. Get me fucking hungry, tired with PMS. We're not good. But I think the high standards allows me to check in with myself a lot. Like, oh, I'm behaving in a way that doesn't feel good. What's going on? And then I can say, like, I've gotten real good at least at knowing this feeling means I need this. Like, I need a nap. I'm really good at knowing that. I know when I need just like a shower, just like I need the water, I need cleansing, I need some space. I know when I need alone time. I know how to say, like, I don't want to hurt your feelings, little honey, but like, I need alone time. And I know you're obsessed with me and want to spend your every waking hour with me, but that's not how I feel in this current moment. So I need you to go. Do I like hurting my kids' feelings? No, but I like it a lot better in this controlled way of I need a moment alone than all of the ways I did it from reacting to normal kid shit. But like, I wasn't taking care of myself. So I couldn't be present or be loving or be kind. I mean, when I was in the height of my mental health crisis, I mean, I was really it would take me over 2 hours to get ready for work because I would be so zoned out. I'd just get lost. I would get lost in my house. Like, I don't have a big house. And just walking to the hallway to get to my bedroom from like the living room, I wouldn't remember why I was going in. I mean, I'd just be like, wait, what? What are we doing? All the time, because I just lived in my brain constantly, foggy and gross and just yuck and bad narratives, or trying to like escape through some fantasy, like that, just all kinds of stuff all the time. So I wasn't nice when that got interrupted, because it's like, what? That was something I had to really work on through the presence. But I would much rather be like, hey, I need this, and it hurt your feelings, and me say, I know, and I know that's disappointing because you really wanted me to do this right now, and I can do that in a little bit, but right now I can't. That's so much nicer than the shit I used to do. Now, do I still sometimes, yell at my kids and cuss at them? Yep, I do. I mean, I'm not going to say I don't, but like, I also know how to be like, I'm sorry about that. I was real bitchy,
Yeah. That is so, so awesome. And I love that you talk about just being aware of it. Like that self-discovery and that self-awareness is huge. Like everything I say, the first step to anything changing is awareness. Because how do you change anything if you're not aware of what's going on, what's breaking you, what's causing you to go off the deep end without that awareness? You're not aware of what needs to be done to fix it. That's beautiful,
Right.
right?
Well, and I mean, that's what I'm trying to teach people too, is like when you heal yourself, you then find love and compassion for yourself and you can extend that to others because you can understand where they are. But
Yeah.
conversely, you have to understand that people are only going to meet you at their current level of understanding, of healing, and they're not going to rise just because you want them to. So, like, we have to be very
Yeah.
careful about where we're putting our energy because, yeah, if you're vibing higher than they are and they don't get it, they're going to pull you down, not the other way around.
100%.
Every
100%.
because they cannot see the paradigm you're presenting to them. I wish to God we could just give people a little, fucking crystal ball and be like, hey, this is, if you just do this, this is it. And then go, okay, that unfortunately isn't how it works. You got to go through the muck. You got to experience your own darkness. But like, that is what we're doing, is saying, hey, one little shift is this, and if we can get people to understand just tiny little mindset shifts or tiny little habit shifters, like, I don't
Yeah.
know, it's perfectionism sneaks up on me every day. I don't know it's there until I find myself shit talking about something and I'm like, oh damn it, there it is again. But like, little shifts creates momentum, and that's how you find your light and how you can be so grateful for the dark too. I'm not trying to push out any part of me anymore because I really am just embracing all of it, because each
Yeah.
of those parts are magical. And I've had to teach clients that too. Like, I wish I had taken this advice when I was raising my middle one who's on the spectrum. All his sensitivities and all his anxiety and all that, we could have learned to alchemize that into magic and it be his greatest strength. And so now I'm teaching clients like, hey, don't assume that's his weakness. Assume that's his greatest strength that just needs to be cultivated in the right manner, because it's not there for no reason.
Yes, I love that you say that. We have so many similarities, which is just wild to me. My youngest son just turned 19 yesterday, so
Oh my
all
gosh, hello, Pisces.
yes. And
Mhm.
my middle son is the one that he's not on the spectrum, but has over anxious disorder and attention deficit disorder, right? But he's also blind in his left eye and deaf in his right ear. And he taught me so much about having to make the best of what you've got. I mean, he was in basketball, and after taking so many hits to the head with the basketball, he decided, okay, this just isn't the sport for me. It's not that I'm not good enough, it's not the best sport
Not
for me.
safe.
See
Yeah.
the ball coming. And then it was football. He was in football and played that and did fantastic, but he knew his limitations and he knew what he needed. And he's the one that taught me that, like you said, you alchemize every bit of you and you look at it as a treasure. This is my
Mhm.
unique characteristic. That's what makes me me. And I'm going to learn how to deal with it and capitalize on it and make it the best of it. And now he's in MMA. He's preparing for a
Mine
fight.
is too. That's
Oh
so
my
fucking
God.
hilarious.
That is crazy, right? And I'm over here like, Trey, what are you doing? Like, how are you going to see this coming? How are you going to know? He's like, Mom, I just know. I get
He's
the
like,
sense.
that's the
I
great thing
feel
about MMA, is it's all intuition.
Yes, so wild. And then I'm like, well, I'm an intuitive energy healer. So you're mine. Okay, you got this.
You know what's funny is I see, like, I don't know if you're into astrology, but I'm a Leo moon and my middle one is a Leo rising. And my mom was a Leo. And for years since I've gotten really spiritual, I saw a medium a couple times and I was like, can you have family on your spirit team? And he's like, well, a lot of times it'll be like an ancestral person or whatever. I was like, okay. And he goes, oh, are you asking because you want to know if your mom is on your spirit team? And I was like, yeah, actually. He's like, yeah, she is. And I was like, okay, I thought so, because once I got really tapped into that energy, I was like, oh, I feel her and we have a soul contract. Like, Okay, I
Yeah.
get this. And then the older he gets, the more I like understand this fucking Leo stuff. And it's funny because my little brother's a Leo and I used to fucking hate all of his Leo qualities, you know, because they were mine too.
Yes.
But I see that with each of my kids in our astrology, how linked we are. But him specifically, it's different. I don't want to say like special because I have this thing with each of them in our own way. But like, it's really, I've learned my greatest lessons in life through him because he's been a real challenge to parent. But super ADHD, super always in trouble because mama was so scared of the medicine as a kid, you know, all the things, and I didn't understand any of it, and I was just afraid because I only had one view of the mental health system with kids, with my brothers, and it was awful. And so, you know, like I was really afraid to relinquish any of that control to other people because it was very unsafe for me. But as we've, you know, really gone through all the challenges with him, I'm so happy he's graduating this year. It's taught me because I made a decision when he was little, like, you know, I just want him at the end of this to go, my mom always loved me. I didn't have to doubt that she loved me because I knew my older brother didn't have that. And he is now schizophrenic and homeless. He never really got the help he needed. And this is the way that I can give back, I guess, is just to make sure I'm not repeating those mistakes. I understand now why a lot of the decisions were made in regards to him. And I understand how much of your own fear and shame is triggered when you're parenting. I get it. But I never wanted him to question whether or not he was loved because of shit he was doing that really, in the grand scheme of things, isn't that big of a deal, but it was everything to us at that time. Because, like, why are you fucking rolling on the floor in the middle of 5th grade? We don't know. We don't. But you thought it was a good idea. Okay, great. That was cute, Jake. Thank you. But, you know, I've learned how to just be chill and understand that he's not an extension or a reflection of me. He is his own human self. And I am only here to guide. Honestly, I feel like more of a guru for the kids now than anything because I mean, I'm not going to go give you some arbitrary consequence just because, like, you know, like I'm not going to be like good parents punish their kids because that's what you have to do. It's more like I'll allow natural consequences to happen and I won't rescue you from them. But and then also there's such a thing as like I'm not grounding you, but you have 0 trust marbles right now. So like I can't, I'm sorry, but like I feel like I'd be putting you in a position to fail if I were to do that. So I'm not going to allow that. But I do make sure he understands like this isn't, I'm not trying to give you consequences. I'm not trying to punish you. But like if I can't not be scared that something's going to happen if you leave this house, I'm going to have to make sure you don't leave the house for a little while. That's just how it is. I'm sorry. And he seems pretty understanding of all of that. But yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that. But yeah, kids, man, they're real fun.
They are. They are. They definitely teach you. They teach you a lot.
If you let them, they will. Yes.
Yes. Yes. That is so big that you say that, right? Like if you let them. Because so often, I mean, I remember being in that position as a mom, kind of in that fear base of you guys know nothing. You know nothing. I have to know everything for you.
Yes.
So, right. And it was my way of protecting them. Like always thinking that I had to be wherever they were, do whatever they were doing with them to protect them. And they didn't know anything. They didn't know anything. And and so many times they were far smarter than I was. And there were times that I didn't listen to them. I didn't hear what they were saying. And I wish now that I would have because they had valid points and I could have learned a lot from them early on. And I'm grateful now that I now can step back and say, wow, like I can learn from you. You are teaching me. I'm so proud of you. Like now stepping back and looking them as young men, like my oldest is just engaged and, you know, just seeing them grow and be an adult that's leading their own life and getting to be inspired watching them and learning from them. Not that I always want to be like, "Ooh, I think I'm going to try that because that's really smart." Like I'm going to do it on my own without the notes, and then I'm just going to pretend like I decided to do it one day.
What do you mean? Everyone's doing it, obviously. Gen Z, they can teach you so much if you let them, because they're smashing all the program we received. I mean, smashing. I think it's because, Gen X really fucked up our kids a little bit, but like not as bad as the boomers, But like I have learned so much stuff that at first I was so resistant to. Like that I was listening to the episode I'm airing tomorrow, talking about just some of the different resistances that the kids have brought my way, and me being like, I can't believe that you blah blah blah. And then like the more I'm one of those people who, I'm your perfect client. Like if you're a marketing genius and you're like, she just has to see it 21 times, that first 20 she's going to be a solid no, and then that 21st she's going to be like, you probably right though. Every time give me exposure and I will finally come around. So when I started kind of being like, oh, you maybe know what you're talking about a little bit, I mean, it really shifted things, because for one thing, well, my oldest is so fucking opinionated. He's got real passion. He's so passionate. And I love that for him. I really do. And I love it for me when it's not aimed at me. But
right?
Yeah. Okay, calm down. But yeah, so there were so many scenarios where I was like, damn, like, I don't know why I hate myself as a mom so much. Like, I raised this motherfucker. Like, I mean, I'm not saying he's this way because of me, because that's a huge trigger for me. Because my grandma will be like, well, who do you think raised you? Da, da, da. And I'd be like, I am this way in spite of you, bitch, not because of you. But so, I mean, I'm sure my children, whatever. But like, I've taught them some good shit. And one of those is like, stand on your principles, and they do. God, they fucking do. They do.
I love that you talk triggers, because it's wild how triggers will come up, and it just has to be a sentence. It can be a smell, it can be whatever, but that's a trigger. Like when my mom wants to take credit for something, that she's like, oh yeah, I taught you. I taught you that, and that's why you taught the boys. I'm like, no, you didn't. No, you did not. You did not teach me that. I like, no, like that really, really angers me. It angers me. It's like, you weren't there when I needed you. I love you that you brought me into this world, and I'm grateful for you, but you weren't there in all the times that I needed you. You neglected me when I needed you most. And now you're trying to take credit for what I've done. Like, I raised these boys single while I fought cancer, after going through a divorce, and I kind of did this on my own. And now you want to take credit for the amazing young men that I have. No, you don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. And that's boundaries. That's been a hard thing for me to learn, is put up boundaries and be like, this is my space. This is my right to own this. And you don't get to be part of it. I always felt like I just had to be the yes, ma'am. Like, oh yeah, you're right. Oh yeah, you're right. Oh yeah, you did. I did that for years.
To be compliant. So yeah, you had to.
Yes, man. And I now I'm like, no, and I'm okay with it. And I know it's gonna, like shock some people, and it's gonna piss them off, but it makes me feel better about myself, and they can be mad about it. But I always remind myself, that's their problem, not mine. That they got to deal with that. I don't have to deal with that, because that's not my problem. That's not my thing.
Absolutely. It's hard. It is hard. It's still even, I have started focusing a ton on creating safety for myself in those moments, where that's part of the intention now. If I'm advocating for myself or someone else, I'm gonna stand in my authority, but I'm gonna shake a little bit while I do it. Like I'm not. It's, people are always so surprised, and in fact, it's one of the things that made me feel the most fucking invisible in the entire world, was the fact that because I'm loud and can seem outgoing, that people always said, "Oh, you don't take shit, and you just say it like it is, and you say what you think and whatever." And I'm like, not really. Like, I will sometimes, and I'm fucking hilarious, but like, I'm not over here being like, don't talk to me like that. You know what I mean? Like, it just made me feel so misunderstood and so invisible, because I was so fucking non-confrontational. Like, now I could advocate for other people easily. I mean, I might be a little shaky, but I'm gonna go do it, because you're not gonna treat someone I love like that. But like, I wasn't someone I loved, so I wasn't gonna go advocate for myself. Whereas, and I guess that's an aha moment, is that like, now it's easier. I'm not saying it doesn't come without a little shakiness, but like, it's easier for me to like, actually no, because I feel a little disrespected about that. Now, granted, when you do reach a certain level of consciousness, I'm not taking shit as personally, you know, like I am fully aware your shit's about you, my shit's about me. Sometimes that can be dangerous for me because then that, you know, really leads me to the internal processing instead of the sharing, you know.
Yeah.
If I take a little too much responsibility, then that's my sweet spot. I love that place because I can sit and be like, oh, this is the lesson I'm supposed to learn. All good. Moving on. Never have to share a damn feeling with anyone. Great, great. Love it for me and everyone else. Perfect. But I mean, I think we are supposed to do that to a certain extent where maybe I'll process it on my own and share it with them later. But like, I gotta know that was my perception of the situation that created that emotion that led to that thought that then reconfirmed the emotion and the entire cycle, or, you know, spiral, if you want to use that word.
Yeah. Spin out. I spun out on that. Now, I have a question because this is something I experienced. Like I was a very loud, and I'm still loud. I can still be loud, but humor was my loud. And that was my defense mechanism. That was my way of fitting in. That was my way of getting people to like me and accept me and want me, was if I was funny, then they would love me more. And now as you're becoming more confident in your own self, do you find that at times though, you're just okay with being quiet because you don't feel like you have to be loud?
Yeah. 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 In a lot of situations where I would have, well, because in social situations, I got to a place where, because I've always felt awkward in the situations, I was like, rip the Band-Aid. Go make a little friend in the corner by being your dazzling, charming self. And then you're not going to sit here feeling awkward or uncomfortable, even though I'm very much going to like overanalyze every word I say to the person and anyone else the entire time. In my head, I was like, go rip the Band-Aid. But now I'm really moving into more of like, I'm the most comfortable waiting for someone to come talk to me. And I don't have to like hate myself for that. Whereas before I really did. I would really go in on myself about like, you know, trying to get in that masculine energy of like, go talk to them, whatever. And that's been a process to be like, if you want to come share, you know, break bread with me, come on over. But otherwise I'm okay to sit and watch. And maybe this is a good time for me to get to disassociate a little bit. Like I don't get to do that very often. So maybe I could just zone out a little bit and think about whatever I want to think about instead of this. But I don't feel the need to fill the gap anymore or to present a certain way so that I'm received a certain way. I loved being the funny one. I mean, and I'm still gonna tell my stories funny, you know. I mean, that's just how it is. But like, yeah, I don't. It's interesting. I don't think this is an observation I've made on myself yet. But yeah, I think I definitely am more comfortable.
And that's something like at first I was like, you know, I'm still the funny. I love making people laugh. I love like just getting the stories going and ramping them up and exaggerating the hell out of them for the sake of getting the laughter out of the people. However, it kind of threw me a little bit when I realized, like, I walked into a room and I was like, you know, I'm just kind of feeling like being present. I don't feel like I have to be the center of attention in order to get people to want to talk to me or to come talk to me. I'm okay with just observing. And I started to feel like, whoa, is something wrong? Like, am I losing something? Does this mean that I'm not confident now? Am I all of a sudden like thinking I'm not good enough? And when I dropped into it, I realized like, whoa, shit. You are so solid in being you that you don't give two fucks if anybody sees you, talks to you, wants to talk to you, and cares if you're here, because all you care about is that you're solid. You love yourself so much that you're okay without anybody here. And that was a big aha for me and that was just about 7 months ago, where I really felt so okay walking into a room, not caring who was there, not caring who saw me, not caring about any of it. And I contributed to the healing, to the releasing of limiting beliefs, of letting, right, just working through and healing trauma rather than sitting and talking about the trauma over and over and over and regurgitating it and choking on it over and over. I've been able to release it and remove it and take it out. And it's allowed me to not have these blocks and these cobwebs and all this shit within. And I can be me. I can think for me. That's been huge for me.
Freedom, man.
Yes.
Freedom.
Yeah. Freedom.
Well, because the other thing that I would do is fawn. go find someone that I'm the least comfortable with and just say shit just for the sake of saying it. Like, it's
Yeah.
not like I was lying about the compliments. Like, I would find something that was true to compliment, but like, I don't, I don't want to do all that. I want to go, like, I was at, one of my friends is a little bit older than me, so she's got grandkids, and love the babies. They're so sweet. But you know, my youngest is almost 11. So do I like, am I gonna babysit? No.
No.
Not gonna do any of that shit because I don't even want my own kids to have grandkids right now, because like, you ain't getting a good grandma if you do, baby. I'm just telling you that right now. Let me get this last one raised, and then maybe I can be present.
Yeah. Give me a few years to grow up,
Yeah,
and then
I just need a few silent years. And right now she's firmly up my ass. Um, so like, I went to a little one's birthday, and I it required a lot of talk at first to myself, because my normal was, you know, I don't want my friend to like think I don't want to be here, because I do want to. I don't go unless like I want to go, because I don't do that. I do want to be here. I don't want to participate. I want to be here and let my daughter play with your kids and whatever. But I want to sit. I don't want to help you. I don't. I just don't. Like, if I wanted to, I would, and I would do that. But I'm not going to make myself get up and be useful or any of that. I did the thing. I came to the party. I gave you a gift. That's where I'm done. Like, but before, my interactions would have been totally different, or like making sure my facial expressions communicated something. I learned that one from my grandma, because if when she was giving those 2-hour long lectures about what a piece of shit you were, you didn't look really concerned with everything she was saying. Not good. Not good. I remember the note to self. I would say that to myself as a little child. Note to self. Okay, you got to look like you care more. Like, I would be up there filing away everything she was saying. She'd always think I wasn't listening, but I'm like, oh, I'm fucking internalizing this in a way that's going to ruin the rest of my life. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. But I really was like, it's fine, Melissa. Like, just sit here and be you. Like, if people want, if party goers who are her family and my friends too want to come talk to me, they know where I'm at. And I don't have to think about or overanalyze if nobody chooses to either. When I leave, because that would have been a thing too. When I leave, I'm going to assume nobody's mad at me. Nobody's caring what I did or didn't do. Nobody watched how many times I went to the bathroom. No one probably knew I took an edible before I got there. You know, like all the things. Like, because that I used to overanalyze just every interaction. And so that's the part that really requires some talking through, is like, be you, do what you feel led to do in the moment, and then let it go. Because however they are perceiving you or receiving you is not your business. And I'm not going to use that in a narcissistic way where I treat people like shit and then go, well, that's a you problem. I'm stoic. So, you know, like, I hate that. But like, have you ever had a narcissist throw the language back at you? Yeah, that's the worst, because that's pretty triggering for me. Now I'm like, I can calm myself through that. But when it first happened, where they're like, well, that's on you. I can't control how you feel, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well, while that's true, you did do something real fucked up. So I think my reaction's kind of reasonable, but all right.
Yes.
I don't do that anymore. I'm just chilling, and I'm not going to worry. All my overthinking in my relationships really was like, oh, I failed in some way. Like, I didn't show up for them the way they needed. Well, honey, here I am, and this has got to be good enough. This has got to be it, because this is who I am. And so if you ask me specifically, can you help me set up this party? Fuck yeah, I can, and I will. But if you don't ask, I don't want to. I'm not going to do it just because. Whereas used to, I would be anticipating everyone's needs. What can I do? Da-da-da-da.
Yes. Like the helicopter, like looking and looking like, oop, they look like they're in pain. Oop, they look like they're miserable. Oop, they look hungry. Oop, they're like that. That's what I'd be like, ooh. And it wasn't even my party. I wasn't even the hostess, but I was like, oh, are you okay? Do you need a toothpick for your teeth? Like, do you need this? Like, oh, can you not find the bathroom? I'll show you where the toilet paper is. And they're like, oh my God, like, who are you?
Yeah, you're not even the host. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I have friends like that. And listen, it comes in handy to have a friend like that. It really does, because they gonna jump in. They gonna jump in and take over, and then it's all their fault if things get fucked up. You know, whatever.
Yes,
but like,
yes,
I was that person, and not to that extent, because I'm a little more selfish than that. So like, I learned a little bit of boundary around the helpful thing a while ago, but like overall, I was still, please let me rescue you so that I look like a good person. So, but also the way I felt like it was intended was, this is how you show love. I need to prove to you that I love you, because that is fully what I expected from others. And that is why my fucking feelings were hurt all the time. Because why is no one walking around trying to prove they love me? I don't get it. Like, that's what I do. I'm doing every fucking thing I can from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep to prove my fucking undying love for you. Where's the love? What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, you just came to the birthday party?
Yes.
You don't love me.
Same.
You don't love me.
And we're conditioned by our childhood to have to, and that was my experience. And I know that we only have just a few minutes left here, but that was my experience growing up, is having to feel like I belonged, or wanting to make sure I belonged, was showing how good of a person I was and how good I could do at everything. And then that meant then I was worthy of love. But it meant like my level, the level of good enough was high enough on the scale to then be like, oh yes. It's almost like you watch it rise, be like, oh yep, I hit the level of love. There it is. And then you wait and you're like, well, wait, like, where is it? Why is it not here? Why am I not getting rewarded? I did everything right.
Yeah, and you know what? I just had a thought. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but this is the first time I've thought about this. Is I think too, I wonder if this was true for you, but I think I was trying to get to a high enough level of like, okay, you get like, I love you this much, right? Because I need you to have that much grace for me when I do the things I know I'm going to do to fuck up, so that I can balance it out. Like, I obviously subconscious, but I think that was one of the motivators, was like, because if you knew the real me, that was something I said all the time to myself. Like, well, like, that's sweet that you think that, but like, if you knew me, you probably wouldn't say that. My closest friends, even, they would describe me and I'd be like, that's not fucking me you're talking about. I couldn't see that part of me because I only saw the parts that made me so ashamed of myself. But yeah, I think I gave so much, sometimes from an inauthentic place, to try to balance out the fact that I was really bad. And that,
I can see that. Like, absolutely. Like, I never even thought about it in a grace perspective. Like, just give me grace. It was just, I've got to give so much love because I am just that not good of a person. I'm just that valuable of a person that I really have to go above and beyond to give, to make up for what I'm not.
Exactly.
Right?
Because I'm not a lot of things. Like, all the things that you probably want in someone that loves you is probably not me, but I can give a lot of love and I can do a lot of things. Acts of service was never really my strong suit. It's just not, because I get overwhelmed easily. So, if you can give me a couple tasks with real explicit instructions, then I'm good. But like, otherwise, well, I thank you so much for coming on. I have loved this conversation. I would love to stay connected. Are you on social media? I'd love to come follow you and stuff.
Yeah. On Instagram, I'm on @Tara.Wisco. The dot in between my first and last name is very important. The other one, the algorithm is very confused. So come to the .Wisco. Facebook is just Tara Wisco. And then same with TikTok. I'm there.
Okay.
You can find me there.
I'll follow you on all platforms, Obby. And if there's anything that's not in your little profile that you want me to include in my show notes, feel free to send it over.
Thank you. I will. I have a freebie. It's a video series, 4-part energy shifting to attract the life that you want through the confidence that you develop in yourself. So I'll send that over and have you put that in there. But thank you so much. I loved this visit and I look forward to finding you on social media and following you and staying connected.
Absolutely. We'll have a terrific Tuesday.
You too. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.